Hello children, today let's continue the third part of history lesson, Advent of Europeans to India. Children, today let us learn about the British rule in India. After gaining political control over South India, the British tried to gain control over the rich Bengal province in the later part of 18th century. Children, why did the British try to gain control over Bengal province? Because it was rich. How it was rich? It achieved progress in the areas of agriculture, commerce and industry. Thus it was rich, and the British wanted to gain control over this rich Bengal province. The East India Company was making considerable profit from this province. The Mughal king Farooq Siyar issued the dastaks. Dastaks means the license to trade freely without paying any tax. The Mughal ruler Farooq Siyar issued the dastaks. Because of the issue of dastaks, the East India Company was making considerable profit, but these dastaks that were limited to the company transactions were misused by the individual officers of the company too. The individual officers misused the dastaks. So, this resulted in huge loss to the Bengal province. Hence, all Nawabs from Murashid Ali Khan to Ali Wordi Khan opposed such misuse of dastaks. This led to confrontation between the Nawabs and the company. This resulted in two crucial wars. They are Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. Now let us learn about the Battle of Plassey, which took place in the year 1757. Ali Wordi Khan, the Nawab of Bengal, died in the year 1756. His grandson Siraj-ud-Dawla came to the throne. The Battle of Plassey took place between the young Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla and the British in the year 1757. Let us see what are the reasons for this Battle of Plassey. First one is misuse of dastaks. Siraj-ud-Dawla was furious that the dastaks were misused by the officials of the company, causing losses to the government treasury. The East India Company was not paying any tax to the Bengal government because of the issue of dastaks. Not only that, they misused the dastaks, so it caused loss to the Bengal government. This made Siraj-ud-Dawla, the Nawab of Bengal, angry. Second one is mending of the fort without permission. The British repaired the fort of Calcutta and placed cannons in them. Without the permission of the Nawab of Bengal Siraj-ud-Dawla, the British repaired the fort of Calcutta and placed cannons in them. This further angered Siraj-ud-Dawla and he ordered the removal of the cannons from the fort. The British refused to do so, angering the Nawab further. Third one is Black Room Tragedy. Siraj-ud-Dawla conquered Fort William easily and imprisoned some of Britishers. He imprisoned 146 Englishmen in a small room in the fort, of which 123 died. This is called as the Black Hole Tragedy. This angered Robert Clive and arrived in Bengal with a huge army. These are the reasons for the Battle of Plassey. Which are the reasons for the Battle of Plassey? First one is misuse of dastaks. The company officers misused the dastaks. This incurred a huge loss to the Bengal government. Second one is mending of the fort without permission. Without the permission of the Nawab Siraj-ud-Dawla, the British repaired the fort of Calcutta. Not only that, they placed cannons in them. When Siraj-ud-Dawla asked them to remove the cannons, they refused. So because of this, Siraj-ud-Dawla got angry and he attacked Fort William. Third one is Black Room Tragedy. What is Black Room Tragedy? Siraj-ud-Dawla conquered Fort William easily and imprisoned some Britishers. He imprisoned 146 Englishmen in a small room in the fort, of which 123 Englishmen died. This incident is called as the Black Hole Tragedy. This incident angered Robert Clive, and Robert Clive arrived in Bengal with a huge army. Robert Clive attracted rich locals like Manik Chand, Omi Chand, Jagat Seth and others towards him. He took some rich locals to his side. He was successful in convincing Mir Jafar, the military head of Sirajud-Dawla, to stay neutral in the battle by offering him the post of Nawab of Bengal. Robert Clive succeeded in convincing Mir Jafar to stay neutral in the battle. Mir Jafar was the military head of Sirajud-Dawla. What did Robert Clive did? What did Robert Clive do? He convinced Mir Jafar to stay neutral in the battle by offering him the post of Nawab of Bengal. Encouraged by these developments, Robert Clive declared war against Sirajud-Dawla in the year 1757. Everything went according to the plan of Robert Clive. Sirajud-Dawla, the Nawab of Bengal, tried to escape from the battlefield, but he was captured and later killed. Now let us see what are the outcomes of this battle. This war brought out the immorality, lack of unity among the Indians and the greed of Indian businessmen. There was immorality and lack of unity among the Indians. When the British promised Mir Jafar that they would make him as a Nawab, he betrayed his king Sirajud-Dawla and supported the British. The rich people also supported the British. So, this war brought out the immorality, lack of unity among the Indians and the greed of Indian businessmen. Second one is the British made Mir Jafar as the Nawab of Bengal. Because of this Battle of Plassey, the company gained exclusive rights to trade in Bengal. Fourth one, Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs to the British as war indemnity for the attack of Fort William. These are the outcomes of the Battle of Plassey. What are the outcomes of Battle of Plassey? This war brought out the immorality, lack of unity among the Indians and the greed of Indian businessmen. Second one, Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. Third one, the company gained exclusive rights to trade in Bengal. Fourth one, Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs to the British as war indemnity for attack of Fort William. In a nutshell, Mir Jafar became a victim of the company and its employees. Even though the treasury went bankrupt due to this greedy nature, the greediness of the company and its officials was never satisfied. The British projected Mir Jafar as an inefficient Nawab and they brought in his nephew Mir Qasim as the new Nawab. They removed Mir Jafar from the Nawabship, from the throne, and they made Mir Qasim as the new Nawab. Battle of Buxar in the year 1764. Mir Qasim was an efficient administrator. In the beginning, he remained loyal to the company. He paid 2 lakh pounds to the company and gave away a few places to it. He was very loyal to the British and he paid 2 lakh pounds to the East India Company. Not only that, he gave some places to East India Company. Shortly afterwards, he declared himself as an independent king. After verifying the misuse of dastaks, he declared all business was duty free in Bengal. Indians competed against the British in all spheres of business. Before this, only the British officers, British East India Company could use dastaks. They could trade freely without paying any tax. When Mir Qasim realized the misuse of dastaks, which caused loss to his treasury, he declared all business as duty free in Bengal. Because of this, Indian businessmen competed against the British in all spheres of business. As a result, the British trade suffered considerably. This was enough for the British to oppose the Nawab. They brought in Mir Jafar again and dethroned Mir Qasim. Soon after the Battle of Plassey, they made Mir Jafar as the Nawab. In the beginning, Mir Jafar was very loyal to the British, but when he was not loyal to the British, they removed him and made Mir Qasim as the Nawab of Bengal. This Mir Qasim too was very loyal to the British in the beginning, but later he came to know about the misuse of dastaks which caused loss to his treasury. So what did Mir Qasim did? He declared all business in Bengal as duty free. Because of this, the British trade suffered. What did the British do? They removed Mir Kazim. They made Mir Zafar as Nawab once again. As Mir Kazim knew the cunningness of the British, he went for an organized war against them. And that war is called the Battle of Buxar. Mir Kazim was supported by Indian merchants and artisans. He entered into agreements with the Mughal ruler Shah Alam II and Nawab of Awadh Shuja-ud-Dawla. The combined forces of Mir Kazim faced the British army led by Hector Munro at Buxar in the year 1764. So the combined forces of Mir Kazim, Mughal ruler Shah Alam II and the Nawab of Awadh Shuja-ud-Dawla. Shuja-ud-Dawla faced the British army led by Hector Munro at Buxar in 1764. Mir Qasim was defeated and ran away from the battlefield. Shah Alam II surrendered. The efforts of the combined forces to stop the British failed miserably. What are the outcomes of this battle of Buxar? Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. Shah Alam II gave Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. British could collect Diwani right means land tax. They could collect land tax from Bengal. Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over Bengal to the British for an annual fees of rupees 26 lakhs. The Nawab of Awadh had to pay a fine of rupees 50 lakhs for waging a war against the company. With the death of Mir Zafar, the company paid pension to his son and took over the entire administration of Bengal. What are the outcomes of the Battle of Buxar? First one is Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. Second one, Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over Bengal to the British for an annual fee of rupees 26 lakhs. Third one, the Nawab of Awadh had to pay a fine of rupees 50 lakhs for waging a war against the company. Fourth one, with the death of Mir Zafar, the company paid pension to his son and took over the entire administration of Bengal. This Battle of Buxar made the British the real holders of power over Bihar, Bengal and Odisha provinces. Because of this Battle of Buxar, the British gained control over Bihar, Bengal and Odisha. Even Awadh remained under their control. In 1765, Robert Clive brought in dual government. Robert Clive introduced dual government in Bengal. What is dual government? According to this dual government, the British had the right to collect land taxes over Bengal, whereas the Nawab had power over administrative issues like justice and others. Nawab had to look after the administration of Bengal, but British were collecting the tax. So all the land tax was collected by the British and the Nawab had to look after the administration of Bengal. Like this, the British gained political control over India to protect their business interests. Who introduced dual government? It is Robert Clive. What is dual government? According to dual government, the British had the right to collect land taxes, whereas the Nawab had power over administrative issues like justice and others. Thank you, children.